Well, hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of Making Sense. Justin Wolf from Forest Area Federal Credit Union joining me today in the Up North Live digital studio. Today, we're talking about something that you probably carry around in your billfold or have paired with your phone, and that is your credit card. And we often think that a credit card is an incredibly safe way to conduct business, but there are scams and people out there targeting us and our credit cards. Is that accurate, Justin?
It sure is, Mark, and thanks everybody that's tuning in to the digital studio to see what is going on in this space. But yeah, we're carrying these credit cards around, and they're an awesome tool. They're an awesome payment method tool. They're secure in 100 different ways. Yet we always know that there are people out there with ill intent that are trying to break down all of those security barriers. So, and some of us carry one card, others of us carry multiple cards. So, multiply that opportunity for risk that's in your wallet by however many cards you have. And that's what you have to keep top of mind as you're walking around and using these highly convenient tools as payment methods.
Well, and for years I was always taught use your credit card because there are safety procedures in place, and it's maybe safer than doing cash or writing a check in some circumstances. There are these protections in place when it comes to our credit cards, but scam artists, they know how to take advantage of us in those situations. So we're not saying that credit cards aren't a safe way to spend. Is that correct?
Absolutely. They're a tremendously safe way to spend. And many of them come with limitations on how much risk you have associated with that card. But whether the card that you're using is a credit card or a debit card, there's the possibility that it can be compromised, that somebody can use that information with ill intent. And really, you just have to keep that in mind and be aware of a few things so that you don't have to go through the trouble of proving yourself innocent later, right? Because what typically happens in a scam, people spend your money, right? They spend that available credit that you have on your credit card. And often you're left having to sort it out, figure it out, work with your bank, your credit union, or the card issuer to prove that it wasn't you. So being aware of the things that go on around us and some of the scams that are happening these days is a good way to just take that extra step of security that comes on top of all of the great technical and security that's out there already, so that we keep an eye on our own pocketbook.
Right, Justin, because at the end result, we may not be out of money, but we're going to be out of time to fix a solution. So you talked about being aware. So what are some of the common credit card scams that we're all seeing right now?
The most common are perhaps some that we don't even know about yet. I'm sorry to say. So again, keep your eye on your cards, on your accounts, on the activity in there. But yeah, what are the traditional ones? What do we see the most of? Really, there's the opportunity for your card numbers to be compromised and then used for other purchases. That's the most common thing, is we have a member or a card holder come to us and they say, there's a charge on my card. I don't recognize it. It's not familiar to me. I know it wasn't me. And then the second question, they're bringing that issue to us. And then the second thing coming out of their mouths is, how did this happen? And that can be one of the hardest questions to answer, because some of these fraudsters, some of the scamsters, they have ways of obtaining card numbers. And that could be anything from a skimming device on a gas pump,
Right.
or a payment terminal at a store. It could be compromised data with a retailer or any other organization that has your card information. They shouldn't be storing it in most cases, but anytime that card number is being run, it's going through a system, and if any of those systems are compromised, that's something we need to be aware of also. So most generally, the most disputed items, or the most times we have a cardholder come to us with a problem, it's because they're seeing a transaction that they don't recognize. They generally have had their card in their possession all along,
Right.
and so that means the scam artist obtained that card information in an outside fashion.
Is it easier if you're of a certain age, you remember when you got a credit card statement at the end of the month, and that's really the only time you could really keep an eye on what your credit card was being used for. With apps and the accessibility we have to our charges, is it easier now than perhaps ever to keep an eye on what's being charged on our credit card?
Oh, it is. And it's even gotten easier as time goes on. Use your mobile app, use your online banking logins. Go and check that account activity periodically. Utilize text alerts, email alerts, all these other alerts. You can control those from inside the mobile app, from inside the online banking login to your card issuer, your bank, or your credit union. And for example, my card, I have it set if a transaction exceeds $500, I get a text message. That's a good way for me to receive the information. So go in and look at those security protocols, look at those notifications and utilize them. Because if you put those in place, you can keep an eye on your activity and not even have to log into the apps or to the website. A lot of functionality there. And if you do want to log into your mobile app or into the website, now the face recognition on our mobile devices makes it so easy. You're, maybe one click with the thumb, hold it up in front of your face, and boom, you're into your mobile app for your credit card, and you can check that activity.
So we really don't have a good excuse not to do that. How common are credit card scams?
Oh boy, unfortunately, well, we receive calls daily. Wow. From cardholders that something doesn't look right. Sometimes we investigate those and we find out, oh, it was a charge that the cardholder made. It's just the business name attached to it maybe wasn't what they were expecting. But we are here to talk specifically about scams, and the answer is it can happen anytime and any day, and that's why we need to be so vigilant with it. In addition to phishing devices or scanning devices, skimming devices, there's ways that scammers and fraudsters can use computer software and run algorithms and try combinations of numbers. And as soon as they get certain combinations that start to hit, they'll often start going in sequential order. So, and just trying numbers to see if they work. So it may not be that your card itself was skimmed in any particular location. It could be somebody was spinning a lottery wheel of numbers and just happened to finally pick a right set of numbers.
That's the lottery you win of all the things that you'd want to do. Like that's terrifying to think that just randomly somebody guesses your credit card, guesses the code on the back, and then starts spending your money. So what do we do if what do we do if we think we are the victim of a scam?
Absolutely. First thing you need to do, call your card issuer. If that's your local credit union or your local bank, give them a call. If you're not sure because you've got more than one card in your wallet, there's going to be an 800 number on the back of that card. Call that number. That will get you in touch with your local credit union, a bank, or the card issuer directly, and they can start investigating that issue. They can also put a stop to any future transactions. That's the first step you're going to want to take.
Justin, got a question here from Tony. Tony, thanks for watching. And anybody that has a question, whatever format you're watching us, you can send us a question. Tony wants to know, is a chip or a card strip better on a card when it comes to security? Do you know, is the chip an added level of security?
Yes, thanks for the question, Tony. That's awesome. The chip technology is an advanced feature and advanced security technology. I'm not going to be able to speak to the technical detail. I apologize for that.
I probably wouldn't understand it, so that's okay.
But yes, the chip technology is stronger than the mag swipe technology. In fact, you might notice, Tony, many terminal machines, many payment machines, if you have a chip-enabled card, it will not allow you to swipe the card. These card issuers are forcing users to use that technology. And then additional technology, tap to pay, right? That's new technology that is also very secure. You have that card in your possession. If well, I'll make this note while we're on the topic. Having your card in your possession is key to security also, right? If someone picks your card up because you dropped it in a parking lot, you're at risk also, because the terminal will accept it in most cases until it's reported lost or stolen. So make sure you have it there. Other on the topic, Mark, other great technology is mobile wallet. Again, going with our mobile devices, you can load and store your credit card information in a mobile wallet, in an app, on your phone, depending on who your carriers and servicers are. And that's another great way to keep the physical card safe and secure in another location. And use your mobile device to pay with your mobile wallet of varying types. And because then we can also, our mobile device may be risk for loss, being lost or stolen, but you have some additional safeguards there, passcodes, facial recognition, all that stuff too, to keep that information safe while it's in a mobile or digital wallet.
Yeah, my billfolder wallet doesn't have either a passcode or facial recognition to get into that. So that is a good point. Tony, he says, thank you guys. You're absolutely welcome. Anybody with a question, go ahead and fire it off to us. Justin and I will try to do our best to get you an answer. You mentioned when we were talking about, if you think you are the victim of a scam, to reach out, speak up. Mm-hmm. And this seems to be an underlying theme when it comes to scams. Nobody likes to admit that they got either scammed or bamboozled, but the best thing you can do is let people know. And that includes letting not only the credit card company know as soon as possible, right?
Yep.
But also let your financial institution, like your credit union, know that this has happened, correct?
Yes, please do. Even if it's not our credit card that was compromised, let us know the scenario. Let us know what's going on. We can, and most other credit unions and banks are going to do the same thing. Notate your account that your information, your personal information, one way or another, was compromised. Even if it wasn't directly related to our credit union, we want to know that so that we can put a note on your account. We can be on the watch. That way, anytime your account pops up in front of us, we have an extra reminder that, hey, this card holder experienced something out in the marketplace or out in their everyday life. We need to do an extra good job of making sure nothing's happening here in our shop with their accounts or their cards.
Well, and it would seem to me that, when people send, when we're talking scams, when people send cash or gift cards, that money's gone for the most part. It's very hard to retrieve that back. But the sooner you can notify your credit card or your financial institution that something is amiss and something needs to be put on hold or notified, it seems like you're going to have there's going to be a lot less work done to get you back to whole. Is that right? Yes. The longer that this goes on, the more challenge. It may not be any harder, but you're just going to have to do a lot more repair. Correct?
Yes. The longer it goes, the worse it can get, the harder it can get to repair it. So yeah, keeping an eye on these transactions, notifying us in the card issuing company when it happens so that we can put holds, freezes, watches on these accounts. We're going to be able to help protect yourself from future additional issues that are just going to compound and take even longer to repair.
We're seeing back on the chip card thing, we kind of went through a cycle where suddenly you were getting credit cards mailed to you as replacements that had chips. Are we seeing more and more of that, where cards that previously didn't have chips are starting to go to the chip method?
Absolutely. In fact, at our credit union, we just went through a similar process where our credit cards were not chip enabled. So we said, hey, we need to make sure we protect our card holders in every way we have available to us right now. So we did a mass reissue of our cards so that we could provide the chip enabled cards, the tap to pay cards, that are the cards that are compatible with mobile wallets, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, all of those things. More and more card issuers you're seeing go that way. And in many cases, they may be directed that way by regulation also, because we have a responsibility to keep our cardholders' accounts and activity as safe as possible.
All right, Justin, we're going to recap here. Keep an eye on your accounts, monitor your accounts, correct?
Yes.
Check them more often than your monthly statement. You can set up notifications in case for a spending limit or for charges so that you get a notification. The sooner you know that something's gone south, the easier it's going to be to repair.
Yes.
Correct. And
Yep.
if you think something is wrong, scream it from the mountaintop. Let everybody know and ask questions about it because it's going to make the repair process much easier. Is that take home today?
That's a great summary. And don't hesitate to call us. Don't hesitate to call that card issuer. We're here to help every day.
Justin, thank you so much for joining us for this week's Making Sense. We'll see you again in the future.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.